and girls with our minds, we really struggle with living in a fantasy world. Yeah, you with me? We fantasize about who we're going to marry, and does he like me? Does she like me? And we get so caught up sometimes when really we need to be studying to show ourselves approved unto God and focus on loving God and serving him and realizing that, you know what? It's not our place to find a mate. It's God's place. And there is nothing as wonderful as being pursued by the one that loves you, because if you pursue him and you get him to like you back, what are you going to do when you're married? When you're married and you have a lot of little ones, do you want a husband that's going to pursue you and love you and be interested in the things you're interested in? Well, then wait and step back and guard your heart and let him pursue you and pursue your parents and pursue God.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday, December 21st, 2024. This video is kind of a repeat because the US Sun decided that sharing photos that they posted on their website that have been shared all over social media of Anna Duggar resurfacing were apparently not allowed to be shared on my platform, even though they've been allowed to be shared all over the internet, and other content creators probably have photos still live. But Anna Duggar has resurfaced, and it's the first time we're seeing her in more than 3 years. I won't be able to share the photos with you, but I can tell you that the photographs definitely were surprising to some people because Anna looked so different, but it was the first time she had been seen out in years. And she was at a event, a basketball game for her boys, and had been seen with them dropping them off. It was 3 years ago on December 9th that Josh Duggar learned his fate after a trial connected to charges brought by the federal government. It was December 9th, in fact, a Thursday, when Josh Duggar was found guilty by a jury of his peers unanimously and was remanded into custody. At the time, Josh Duggar was 33 years old. He was the father of 7 children. He was living with friends of the family in a home on house arrest, but it was that day that he was remanded into custody. December 9th, 2021 was the first night that Anna Duggar slept in a house without Josh. During their trial and the months leading up while he remained on house arrest, Anna left her children with the Duggars and moved in with Josh. When Josh was facing all of these counts and all of these charges, Anna gave birth to a daughter who they named Madison, which made some people extremely uncomfortable given the fact that in 2025, Josh was found on a website called Ashley Madison, and he admitted to cheating on his wife. On that day in December 9th, he was remanded to custody. He spent 6 months in county jail. It wasn't until July of 2022 that he began serving his sentence. He was sentenced to 12 and a half years in federal prison. The time that he had previously served did not count towards his total sentence. Josh's earliest date of release is October 2nd, 2032. Josh now is known as number 42501/509. He currently resides in Federal Detention Center, Seagoville, FCI. Seagoville is a low security prison, and it is a special unit for people just like Josh. Many of us had hoped that the conviction of Josh Duggar would eventually lead to Anna Duggar waking up and making the choice to protect her children. Because Anna came from the Institute in Basic Life Principles, and because Anna had her parents set her up with Josh, and because Anna was placed into a marriage with Josh. She did like him, by the way, but this was an arranged marriage. They had no time alone before they ever married. Their relationship was completely long distance, and this was a setup that occurred after Josh had gotten in trouble for doing inappropriate things to his sisters. During the course of their marriage, they had 7 kids in a very quick succession. And Josh and Anna had moved for a brief period to Maryland while he was a lobbyist in DC. After he became disgraced and it became public about his affair and what he did to his sisters, he resigned from his position. Despite Josh's infidelity, his admitted addiction to adult content, and the fact that Josh had cheated on a wife that was pregnant, Anna decided to stay with him. They moved back to Arkansas, and Josh Duggar no longer appeared ever again on the Duggars reality show. It actually resulted in 19 Kids and Counting being canceled, and a reboot that was supposedly supposed to be about the oldest kids and daughters was branded Counting On. Now, after 3 years, paparazzi for some reason showed up in Arkansas. You think that's kind of weird, right? So strange. Why would the paparazzi suddenly show up in Arkansas? It was almost like they were called. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if that's what happened, but I do know that sometimes when a family is looking for relevancy or more publicity or perhaps sympathy, they might actually call the paparazzi and say, "Hey, I know someone's going to be out and about. I know where that person's going to be." Or she might have known they were there the whole time. Either way, the photos are odd because she's at a event. She was at a basketball game for her boys. She's walking out of the basketball game and she leaves. The photos have been shared all over the internet, and unfortunately, I can't share them with you. But regardless, when I saw them, I thought, why would someone have photos like this? Why would someone be sitting outside of the paparazzi looking for Anna? It just that didn't add up to me. And then because she didn't look that great, right? She didn't have her hair done in those photos. She was just wearing a t-shirt and she was wearing a sweater and jeans, no makeup. Suddenly, a couple days later, the paparazzi are back and Anna is seen again at the same place for the same reason. And this time she's got her hair curled, her makeup on, she's wearing a blazer and a black satin shirt. It's obvious that at this point she's trying to look better, knowing that someone might be following her or out and about looking for her. It was like, "Oh, so you got those photos, so now you're gonna get better photos of me." Now, I can't share the photos, but she does look different. When I did share them, people noted that she looked like she had put on some weight, and what that happens. And at times and at points, people didn't believe it was her. We all know it's her. We've seen her. The very odd way that these were all set up and the way that she was spotted at this place at the exact time that she was leaving, it just all felt suspect. And it all felt suspect too because this isn't the first time she's been seen. She was in photographs and videos at Jana's wedding. It's just that the photos that they took of her were unflattering and she didn't look that great. And because they were unflattering, I'm sure it was a story because people were shocked that her appearance had changed. And that happens. But again, I find the timing of this very odd. And I'll tell you why. So the US Sun copyright struck my video that I did on the Anna Duggar being resurfacing. I spoke about the article in that video and I talked about what the article said. I have dealt with numerous threats of copyright strikes and lawsuits since Jana's wedding by or directed by Jim Bob Duggar or people connected to him. The photographer that took photos for Jana's wedding demanded I take all their photographs down, even though everyone was sharing them. They were all over Reddit, they were all over People Magazine. Other content creators were using them. I simply shared a couple photos that I found, and then they were like, "You need to take those down." Okay, so I did. Then Stephen Wisman's sister contacted me and demanded that I remove the photographs connected to the engagement photographs that both Jana and Stephen shared on their website for their wedding. And she was like, "I own the copyright to those photos. You need to take those down." To which I declined to do. I refused to do, and I would not bend to her demands. And guess what? She did not sue me. So again, those were my first videos about the Duggars in a while. And then again, right as I'm about to reintroduce the Duggar content back to back to this channel, then I'm also copyright struck by the Sun, which was weird. So the photos that were taken of Anna, I can confirm, are from a paparazzi agency and outlets are getting them through the Sun, through the Mega Agency. The Mega Agency is a website for contributors of paparazzi. Jim Bob Duggar has been known to use a PR team. His PR strategist was a man named Chad Gallagher, who helped them get out and navigate all the various scandals the family has faced. He was front and center with the allegations against Josh in 2015, and again when Josh was arrested in 2021. And now we are seeing a movement by the Duggars to put out new articles, photos, and images of Anna and Josh, who really are on the peripheral of the family. They have very limited contact with people in the family and are estranged from many in the family. And Anna's relationship with Jim Bob and Michelle is icy at best. And Jim Bob is not above using PR like paparazzi to keep his family relevant and to also allegedly push narratives. What I've noticed about these recent articles is that they're unflattering to Anna because they show Anna as looking very different. They're also unflattering to Josh. I mean, it's not uncommon for Josh to be unflattering. They somehow magically knew that Josh was going to be walking the track, the paparazzi did, at Seagaville, and that he would be wearing sunglasses and clothing that was, ordered from a catalog, which is pretty standard. If you need extra clothes, your family members can order them for you, and you can have them in jail, in prison. I noticed that there is an unflattering tone in the articles, unflattering towards Anna and unflattering towards Josh, and a sympathetic overall tone in several of the recent articles towards Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. In fact, in the articles, it would appear that whether it's the Sun or an In Touch, that this narrative is that Jim Bob and Michelle are long-suffering parents of a manipulative Josh, and because Josh continues to manipulate them, they are now cash-strapped, and they are being forced to take care of their daughter-in-law, Anna, and Anna is living in a warehouse, and it is their responsibility now to take care of Anna. That's kind of what the narrative is, and there's this overwhelming fear for Josh and about Josh. And it would be that, one, he has a lot of stuff in prison, but two, maybe a sense of fear about what Josh might say about them. Josh is able to manipulate them because Josh has some sort of dirt on on his parents. Now, in the previous video, I did say, it seems sort of odd that the Duggars would be cash strapped. But then I took a look at some issues going on here, and some of their businesses have been dissolved recently. And I also noticed that several of their businesses are not current. For example, Jason's company, Brixton Contractors LLC, was revoked. 3 of Jim Bob's Cessna LLCs that he had for Cessnas in which he owned were also revoked. Now, these were in the name of Jeremiah Duggar, and one of his companies under a Cessna was sued in 2022 related to a bank being owed money from the previous owner and Jim Bob Duggar knowing that this lien exists and still going forward with the purchase of the plane. There's also been other companies like their RV parks, their Riverfront RV Park LLC, not current. Medical Evacuation Disaster Intervention Corps, not current. RV Park Express LLC, not current. Stony Brook Storage LLC, not current. Warehouse Rental Group, not current. 5 companies, not current, and 4 companies revoked in the last year. Then there's also been a flurry of companies closing. ALB Investments, which was Josh, Cambridge Arbor, Glasgow Drive, Lexington Contractors, Little M Consortiums, Medical Evacuation Disaster Intervention Corps, Ravenglass South, Soli de Glorio LLC, all dissolved. There's a flurry of either not current or revoked, and then some that have just been dissolved. And this large empire that was once what Jim Bob Duggar held is slowly dwindling. Jim Bob could be struggling for cash, and this is just a theory, but with how litigious he has been making threats against me, whether it's from a photographer or the sister of Stephen Wisman, and I don't know what's going on with the Sun, but I'll just say that my belief here and my just kind of looking at the totality of this, how the photographs have leaked, the narrative of these articles is that maybe Jim Bob is staging these photos because he needs money. Maybe he's getting a cut of what the photographs of the photographs being taken. Maybe he sent a tip in to the Sun of where Anna was going to be. Maybe he sent in a tip in for where Josh was going to be when he was walking the track. Maybe this is because Jim Bob needs cash. Maybe it's a money grab. In Touch will sometimes pay as well. And two outlets that will pay, In Touch and The Sun, have been outlets that the Duggars have used in the past. So the narrative they want you to believe that I'm seeing is that Anna and Josh are like draining their resources. They are terrified of what's happening with Josh, likely petrified of something that Josh has over their heads. Their financial empire is beginning to crack and crumble. And so let's distract you by placing the blame on Josh and placing the blame on Anna. I did send photographs of Anna to a friend that was friends with Michelle, and she was actually shocked. And this is just something for you to think about. But Michelle used to have women's groups with women from the church. And one of the things that she was really big about was that women stay thin and treat their bodies like a temple. And they were told often that they need to take care of their health. They need to take care of their weight to make sure that they keep their men happy and they honor God. So much so that this woman told me that Michelle would preach about how Weight Watchers had allegedly saved her life, and that Michelle particularly had issues with women that were overweight. And this woman's alleged that when she was overweight, Michelle pulled her aside and gave her a contact at Weight Watchers so that she could lose weight, so that she could get right with God. And their response of seeing Anna was maybe they're upset with how Anna is looking because of what they believe and what Michelle believes. Maybe Anna is doing this as a way to say F you to them, but maybe they're doing this as a way to her to embarrass her because they apparently are, Michelle and this group are fixated on women staying healthy. And when you gain weight like this, you're being disgraceful to God. It's just more shaming in this cult that just is insane to me. And thinking about Michelle preaching about Weight Watchers over a group of women and then handing out Weight Watchers to shame women that are overweight just is so gross. So now with the strike from the US Sun striking my channel, all these other litigious things, there's a narrative at play. What is coming? What are they hiding? That I don't know. Is there something looming on the horizon that they're trying to distract from? Are they trying to distract from Jason's lawsuit? Is there some other kind of lawsuit coming up? Is there some sort of federal investigation happening? Is there something that we don't know about yet? Whenever this stuff happens, I always feel like the other shoe is going to drop. What do you think that might be? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye, guys.